Arith, it is a double bill of my least popular videos. Turtles now, TMNT Journeys Issue 6. And this means that we are once again all caught up with this series on this channel. Caught up on this reprint of a comic from 2002. This is by the usual crew. Peter Laird, Jim Lawson, Eric Talbot. And there's the Turtles' new tattoos. They have tattoos now to help you tell them apart. I don't know why they wouldn't get their first initials tattooed on them. If we're giving them tattoos for identifying purposes, why have random symbols that in no way can be logically linked to the character it belongs to? We join our issue with Jay, that is him there in this very overgrown forest. He is the boyfriend of Shada, Casey Jones's stepdaughter, and their relationship is at the point where he is getting antsy about meeting Shada's family. She keeps putting it off because it means that Shada will have to tell him about Splinter, the radical rat that is raising her and training her. She won't have to worry much longer because this guy is an idiot. And he thinks that the best way to find out about her family is to spy on them with a rifle scope. And this is where we get our cover. Him seeing Splinter in the crosshairs. Then he is understandably attacked by one of the other superpowered people that live with Splinter. This guy is from Justice Force, maybe. I have still not read that issue. There was an ad issue of the original series where the Turtles and Casey met a group of aging and retired superheroes called Justice Force, and they keep coming up in TMNT Journeys, and I have made zero effort to go back and read that seemingly essential issue. In a plotline completely, well and truly independent from that, we have the Turtles and Casey and April. They are visiting Outram Island. I won't explain what that is because we've had 5 issues and a friggin' time jump getting us here. What's happening is that the Outram, they have detected April as a threat and they want to apprehend her. And Casey is straight to fighting. And Shada is there too. Forgot to mention that. And also the Foot. The Foot are being employed as the Outram's security force. It is the Foot who we fight here. There aren't any weapons permitted on Outram Island, so it's all skill and deadly hands of kung fu. The tattoos in no way help identify the turtles because half the time you either cannot see them clearly, and then, like on panels 1 and 2 of this page, they're not even facing the reader. Also, I've still not remembered them. They're not memorable. I know the sort of yin and yang one is Donatello. That's the only one I've remembered. These tattoos stink. Peter Laird has the goal to bash the coloured masks and give us these forgettable, unintuitive tattoos that don't even work because the characters are frequently in poses that hide them. Right, I've deliberately ignored this for all 6 issues, but the original Mirage Turtles, they have tails. And the thing is, it just looks like a penis. Every time you see it, you think the turtles have their todjas hanging out. It's such a bad design choice. It takes you out of every scene. Why don't they all get individual cock rings? That's how you could tell them apart, by their cock rings. Next, April and Shadow join all the fighting. It is a big free-for-all between Turtle Family and Foot Clan, and it is incredibly silly and pointless because we are none the wiser to what the fight is really about. We don't know why the Utrom singled out April yet, but the Utrom recognise this is a mess, so they use flash bombs and stuff to stop the fighting. And we get our explanation that they detected nanobots in April's body. And it was here where I realised, for 5.5 issues now, they had used April so little, I was thinking of her as a TV reporter all this time. She's not. That's an idea from the cartoon and then the live-action movie. In the original comics, she was never a news reporter. And this series has done such a shoddy job of giving her anything to do that nought came up until now that reminded me that she wasn't a news reporter. Now, I'm not that into the idea that they all trust the Utrom. The level of trust they have for the Utrom is implausible, and also definitely why Peter Laird chose to skip 6 months, or however long. Now, our explanation is where I realised that she wasn't a news reporter. They do a scan on April, but we have our subplot, and this guy, he has Unhumans style hair. And then we have a nice page of the turtles waiting around for the results. I like that the series does seem to amp up the more mundane or humdrum type of thing. There's a few other things, like the Fugitoid is there. The Fugitoid is there to help. And also there is a foot ninja called Cha, who is Leonardo's nemesis. They have unresolved issues. I have no idea where they come from. It might be City at War, or it might be that Tales of the TMNT series. But this backstory I am unfamiliar with there. If I can backtrack a bit, in issue 4, there was a scene with Karai fighting some fake turtles. The mock turtles. Can you dig it? The cock turtles. I'll explain that one later by the door. As I said in that video, I was fixated on who it was that was fighting them. I didn't even observe that there were 6 turtles there. A very obvious clue what we were seeing was false. But I was focused on thinking it was a Fugitoid instead of Karai. I hate that I didn't point out the 6 turtles in that video though. There's also possibly some commentary there about Venus de Milo, who Peter Laird hates. He hates the idea of there being more than 4 turtles. Then we get slammed with so much continuity here. Our explanation is that April was infected with the nanobot by Baxter Stockman. She worked as a lab assistant for Baxter Stockman. That was her job instead of being a news reporter. The Baxter Stockman stuff, the nanobots, it was tied in with the Utrom too. He had stole the prototype from the Utrom, and all this goes back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 2, their very second comic. It was the first appearance of April O'Neil, the first appearance of Baxter Stockman, and behind the scenes, the first appearance of the Utrom. Baxter Stockman was an evil genius, basically. He created the Mousers in that issue, little robot pests that bothered the Turtles. And the Utrom would be tied to the Mousers too, I guess. April realised that he was a bad guy, and she wound up meeting the Turtles. There's also a news reporter at the start of that issue. That's a detail I only remember because it struck me as weird that we opened with a news reporter in what was April O'Neil's first appearance. We get some more continuity over here. It's a bit absurd that TMNT Journeys has so much continuity, or that it is insisting on it, but at the same time, it is also discarding the entire previous run. Here we have a reference to another appearance of Baxter Stockman, and I was excited because I thought I had read this one in the IDW Baxter Stockman one-shot Best of Baxter Stockman comic, but I hadn't. That one, what I read in that, was based on the 2003 cartoon, and it was written by Peter David, of all people. But what we're referencing here is a story from the second volume of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the short series written and penciled by Jim Lawson. There was a Baxter Stockman appearance in that somewhere. I've not read any of it. They have never included any Volume 2 issues in those one-shots. IDW did release a trade of it, that series. They've been quite good at reprinting Turtles stuff. Less good about their choices in colouring most of it. It was during that Volume 2 appearance that April was injected by Baxter Stockman, and they theorise here that maybe these nanobots are the reason that she cannot get pregnant. And look at that foot guy, Leo's rival, Cha. He is loving this. And then there is some stuff with Jay and Justice Force. He seems to be taking it well. I'm guessing we're about done with any drama of him learning about Splinter. What I am looking forward to is next issue as the Turtles in superhero costumes. These were art designs. Peter Laird was kicking around at the same time as the wrestling costumes, when Eastman and Laird were considering giving them different looks. These were superhero costumes and powers for them. I am very excited to see that. Here is our covers gallery. We have got our main cover by Michael Dooney, and then the variant by Dan Duncan. He did a lot of the early IDW TMNT run. It's a good cover. But I found out there is another variant that they don't show here. An A.C. Farley one with the Utrom. A.C. Farley is best known to me as the artist on those Turtles Andy books they did. But he is one of the Mirage Studios mainstays. I think he joined later on during City at War. That is another uneven issue of TMNT Journeys Down. Nobody has ever said Peter Laird is a good writer. Well, the Turtles have always been quite discordant in their narrative. Peter Laird could do whatever he wanted here. If he wanted to have a super hospital, he would have a super hospital. It doesn't matter if there's no objective in having a super hospital in the story. It does, however, leave you wanting more. I want there to be a proper story in there, not a series of scenes that sometimes link together. Have this issue, but also have a small story arc completed within it. Have Donatello get over a fear of something. I don't know. The tattoos are shit. And I think 7 thumbs up would be a better tattoo design.